Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. And speaking of you ladies, okay, so Stacy Schubert, Roland's Review, has she came to me about a week ago about an idea because we have so many wonderful ladies that are in here that we wanted to start something just for all of you. Together where we have kind of like a chat session just for the ladies. So in the community tab, there's an email address to Stacy. She'll have more details and stuff for you all where we'll be getting together and having topics that you want to talk about. So check that out. Email Stacy and we'll get that stuff together. It's Saturday night. It's kind of chilly out and I still have more freaking leaves out here. I'm getting sick and tired of the damn leaves falling. But then again, it is fall, which means it's football time. And if it's football time, that means that the NFL will always be throwing shade at the Dallas Cowboys. And the NFL is getting a little bit of egg on their face right now. In fact, Twitter, Twitter don't play. Twitter is a mother humper, quite frankly. They're basically joking the the NFL and Roger Goodell because the Cowboys, we got 3 fines against us. Okay, 3 fines. They went after Diggs and Connor Williams, and of course Ceedee Lamb for his wave goodbye, which is ridiculous because you have the officials that everybody looked at, including Tony Romo during the cast, is like, that's a touchdown. You look at it from every angle. There is not a single picture anywhere in there that you can look at and say that it's questionable. They screwed up. The officiating was terrible. Yet, this is the thing that kills me. The players can get fined, can get kicked out of games, can get suspended for their conduct on the field. They're held accountable for their actions. So when the officials screw up and it costs teams games, why aren't they held accountable? Can somebody explain that one to me? Because clearly they've been messing up. They really messed up. And you could look at the 12 calls that they had against us. I'm not saying that some of the calls weren't legitimate calls. But it was funny because they were only called one way. The other side of the field, they could have made the same calls for the exact same infractions, but they didn't. They all were one-sided. And this isn't the first time that we've had situations like this. I think in the playoffs some years back against Green Bay, where they called us for unsportsmanlike conduct for 12 men in the huddle, a call that had only been called 2 times ever in the history of football. But we didn't have a 12th man in the huddle. And the thing about it was on a play that would have given us first down on like the 20-some yard line going away. Instead, it makes it 1st and 25 at midfield, in which case we did convert and, lost to Green Bay in the playoffs. We've had questionable calls, like lowering the head by the running back, okay? You know how many times that have been called, at least, and maybe they've called it some more. But at one point, there was only 2 calls of it ever. And it was Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. So you're going to tell me that only the Dallas Cowboys running back are the only ones that are lowering their heads? Come on, dudes. How about the ball movement against the Washington football team? If you take a look at most centers out there, their hands and stuff, they're they're almost kind of like it's almost like they're twerking and everything else. Never called. Called one time against the Cowboys in a critical situation. Yeah. But anyway, here's the part that's really kind of crazy about this. And I didn't realize that the NFL even had done this. The NFL used what Diggs did, bye-bye, in promotions. That's right. The NFL said, hey, this is kind of cute. Look at that. Bye. And this is the same NFL that also, they used to do the wave. Everybody, hey, the wave. Yeah, so the wave, and I've actually seen the wave done I think in Miami at Super Bowl. I think they did the wave in that Super Bowl. But regardless, they used that to promote the NFL. So they made money off of Diggs going, bye, bye, bye. And then they turn around and they fine him for it. You know what's crazy? The NFL has more money than a lot of countries. Viewership, especially with the Dallas Cowboys, is up like 11%. The Cowboys versus New England was the biggest game on CBS over the last 5 years. The NFL now gets money from gambling. You follow me? They make as much money from gambling without having to raise a finger in royalties as they do in great gate revenues. And it's not like they don't make plenty of money with gate revenues with all of these mega stadiums. Have you seen what they're charging to go to the Raiders games? Not to mention all the merchandise and things that's out there being sold. The teams, they say, within 3 years will be worth minimum $8 to $10 billion each. Currently, the Dallas Cowboys have the leader at about 6. You've got all of this money. You've got all of this support. You're talking about expanding into Germany. You got these players that you've got a contract on that literally they can smoke weed, but that's about it. And now you're taking away the fun stuff with it. I can understand. Listen, I can understand when you got a guy who's in there, slamming the football in his face while the guy's on the ground, or stomping on him and things like that, or maybe, slicing the throat. But this is ridiculous. And for the Cowboys to have not one, not two, but 3 players that they turned around and fined in one game, in a game that the officiating was about as bad as it could be, is not a good look. The Cowboys, the bottom line is this. No matter what happens, doesn't matter how good you play, you have to be above and beyond what the other guys do. You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. And because you are, the Dallas Cowboys, the most watched team, you can look at it, and if you're Zeke Elliott, you won't get the benefit of the doubt in a case. You cannot be arrested and not be charged with anything, yet you get suspended for 6 games. You can have somebody who has a whole case that's going on. No biggie. Herein lies the problem of being the Dallas Cowboys. And I think some of this goes back to, this is me personally, and I don't have any evidence of this, but I think back to when the Zeke Elliott situation happened, and Jerry Jones was adamant about not losing Zeke Elliott and went, toe-to-toe with them. And the NFL said, Jerry, you're going to pay that couple $1 million in attorney's fees. And Jerry said, I'm going to fight it. In fact, Jerry Jones went on board saying, I don't think the commissioner should get a new contract. Slow your roll on that. And him wanting to put in Bill Polian as the new commissioner, his guy. I don't think Roger Goodell ever forgot that. He may have forgave, but he's never forgotten that, because when you look at the stuff with the Cowboys, it always seems to be like they do things to them they don't do to anybody else. Oh well. At least tomorrow we'll be here live streaming. We'll be live streaming tomorrow, watching, of course, the Giants, the Eagles, and Washington, see if they can get a victory or not. We can kick back, we can relax, and enjoy the fact that our players are healing up, getting ready for the Minnesota Vikings next Sunday. As always, I appreciate you. And don't forget, ladies, check out the community tab, get Stacy's email address, and email her and say, hey, I want to be part of the Ladies' Night Chats. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope you're having a great night. See you soon.